Welcome again to my channel Travel Guide. Today I am at Newcastle Museum is in Newcastle, New South Wales, Australia. The museum is connected with Newcastle Libraries. It showcases exhibitions across science, industry, local history, and regional culture, with interactive and heritage-focused displays. Since opening in its current location, Newcastle Museum has received many awards for its design, environmental sustainability, exhibitions and tourism. A hands-on science center, allowing visitors to explore scientific concepts through a range of interactive exhibits. I hope you enjoy this video, so let's explore with me. The tree had been used by generations of Worimi Aboriginal people to watch for schools of fish near Bagnall's Beach. Their footholds can still be seen in the trunk. The tree is estimated to have lived for 300 to 400 years, and the first European record of it seems to date from 1820. The top of the tree fell off in 1960 and it remained a hollow trunk till 2001 when vandals set fire to it. The fire was extinguished, but the damaged trunk was then cut down because of fears it could topple. The Worimi Aboriginal people are the traditional caretakers of the coastal land of northern New South Wales, from the Wallace Lake area down to Newcastle and west to Gloucester, and are made up of the Baragal, the Gamapingal and the Garawerigal clans. Settlers who first encountered the Worimi people noted they were taller than the Eora people they were familiar with from Sydney, and that they were a generally positive people. Living on the coast and beside lakes, they relied on locally caught fish as a staple part of their diet and made canoes to traverse the waters out of stringy bark trees. Fire and earth, coal mining and BHP steel production. This includes the BHP Experience, a 5-minute show run hourly, explaining the steel-making process using some of the objects on display and some dramatic effects. The museum focuses on collecting objects that tell stories of Newcastle and the Hunter region's history. The collection includes objects that tell stories of the ongoing changes to the natural and urban environment, share knowledge of early Aboriginal life and unique stories of migration, war and culture. Discover the local industries, working trends and insight to popular leisure activities and lifestyle that reflect the geographical location of Newcastle and its ever-changing society. I recommend you to spend at least 4 to 5 hours in this beautiful museum because there is lots of things to explore for all age group. I made other videos to show you other parts of museum, so please check other videos as well. Thank you. Let's experience BHP steelmaking simulation.
And they cycle through these different types of music to keep everyone on their toes. Because when you heard music, you knew hot, heavy things were moving. If they kept doing the same thing, you kind of get used to it. So with the mould, you can see this funnel at the top. So the molten steel was put into that funnel, and then it channeled down to the bottom of the mould. It then fed up these columns that we can see. So it's a bottom feed mould. The reason it fed from the bottom is because you're less likely to get air bubbles in your steel then. And that's one of the main reasons that Newcastle was known for its high quality steel, because of the type of moulds and techniques that they used. Once they were filled up, they were let to sit through the to start the cooking process. Then they were hooked up to a train, a steam engine, and they were transported to the blooming mill. The blooming mill had a big roller, and depending on what it was going to be turned into, these big rods that are in the moulds were rolled out to a thickness or a thickness, I guess, that helped them then transform to what it was going to be. There's a really great picture to go on this wall here, so once this bucket goes back up, you get up and around, have a look at it, and it's a picture of two train drivers actually using the blooming mill, rolling out. This beautiful gauge up on here, this came from the BHP site, and that gauge was used to look at what thickness you were rolling out to, but also the pressure. Because if the pressure became too high, then it was an explosion. Unfortunately, sometimes they did happen when people go behind the that. Once our little lady is back up in the nest, you're very welcome to move around. I'm really sorry again, everyone, that the show didn't run as it was supposed to. If you have any questions, we've got 5 staff on today, and we all love a chat. So come and have fun with us, yeah? Around the corner here, we've also got our coal mining exhibit. So that refers to the earth part of our valley. So these two industries.
Newcastle was the perfect location with its connection with higher rain and sea. When the civil rights opened here in 1915, Newcastle was transformed into a major industrial city. At this peak, the steelworks employed more than 11,000 people. During the show, you'll see one of those people as a hologram. Harry will appear in this window up here and tell you what it was like with his experience working at BHP, and also how he felt when it closed down. Some of the items in the steelworks are now here in the museum, including his lathe and his molds.
This is manual pipe organ. This is created in England, United Kingdom. Firstly it was a wooden manual pipe organ with metal pipework and later added an electric blower. This is the Buck. This was built by Messrs Kitson and County Limited in 1870. It is an 0.60 saddle tank locomotive with internal cylinders. The Buck was originally numbered 20N. It was brought to Australia as a construction contractor's locomotive before being sold to the New South Wales Railways in 1872 and used on the Northern, Newcastle, division for coal trains. During this time it caught the attention of the J&A Brown Company, who operated a coal mining empire in the Hunter Valley. The company owned its own private railway for coal haulage between its collieries. The Browns were so impressed with the locomotive that they approached the New South Wales Government Railways and offered to purchase it. The government initially declined this offer, but in 1891 the locomotive was sold to the Browns and began working on the Richmond Vale Railway. In later years the Browns purchased larger locomotives for coal haul duties and the Buck became a regular shunter of the coal steers at Hexham. It was finally withdrawn in 1967 and set aside at Hexham. A locomotive's cylinders are pressure vessels that fill with steam, forcing the running gear, side rods of the locomotive to move forward and turn the wheels. Many steam locomotives have these components mounted on the outside, in front of the wheels. An example of this is the 3801 model in a Newcastle story. Now I am telling you about this helicopter. Design began in 1962 with construction beginning in 1967 and the prototype flying for the first time in 1971. It was certified airworthy by the Civil Aviation Authority of Australia, the forerunner of CASA, during 1984. Let's check this beautiful tram. The restored LP-class tram 284 is a major, interactive exhibit at the Newcastle Museum on Workshop Way, representing Newcastle's electric tram era, 1923 to 1950. As the last surviving electric tram from the city's original system, it serves as a key historical artifact and is popular with visitors, located within the museum's exhibition space. Learn about the life, career and achievements of the region's greatest sportspeople. Discover portraits, images and the records of over 800 champions from the Hunter area in all fields of sporting endeavour. Indigenous Australians are advised that the Sporting Hall of Fame may include images or names of people now deceased. This exhibition showcases items unearthed from a 1920s to 1960s Depression-era settlement. The collection includes domestic items from daily life, such as plates, jars, cutlery and other stuff. Explore the fascinating listing of the war service records of the hunter men and women who served in World War I. Discover information about your great-grandmother's war nursing record or how many miners enlisted from your suburb. Indigenous Australians are advised that the Diggers database may include images or names of people now deceased. The Model T Ford was not the first car, but it was the most significant car of the 20th century. Henry Ford revolutionized mass production with moving assembly lines and the standardization of parts. His purpose for the Model T Ford was to provide affordable cars for the masses, as previously cars had been handcrafted for the wealthy. Over 15 million were made, and by the 1920s, every second car on the world's roads was a Model T Ford. This 1923 Model T Ford can also tell its own personal story. We know Richard Venables purchased it in 1933 for his mother, but she never drove the car. The car was altered some time after manufacture because the 1923 car has a 1927 back axle. Richard Venables died in 2002. A young boy gathered these eggs as his hobby. Earth Ball exhibit in Supernova exhibition. Thanks for watching. It's a very big appreciation for me if you like, subscribe and share. And one more thing is that more beautiful videos going to come soon, so please subscribe, so you can get my informative videos easily. Thank you.